Ladies and gentlemen, grab your seeds, grab your gum. Welcome to the Dirt and Turf Podcast, a special Father's Day edition. Yay! And joining us today, we have Kat and Tylor once again. Say hello, everyone.
The usual. How are we doing?
We're doing pretty well. It's pretty fun. We are, before we get started into our segment, I kind of want to give a little bit of a live score right now. A little bit of live score. We have, as of June 14th, 2024, we have the Cardinals beat the Cubs 3-0. The Yankees are beating their faithful foe, the Red Sox, 2-0. The Nationals are spanking the Miami Marlins 8-1, bottom of the 6th. The Phillies are beating the Orioles at the bottom of the 6th, 2-1. The Cleveland Guardians, should be the Spiders, are beating the Blue Jays 3-0. The Padres and Mets are tied. The Braves are decimating the Tampa Bay Rays. The Athletics are beating the Twins in the bottom of the first inning. Tigers and Astros are tied. And the Reds and Brewers are tied. So that's it for the live scores. Now we're going to get started. And we're going to talk particularly about Father's Day, because a lot of people don't know it. We cover our podcasts on the weekend, and just so happens Sunday follows the weekend, and this Sunday is that special day. It is Father's Day. So
it is indeed.
Yep. And so we're gonna celebrate our fathers particularly, because we don't know if Tylor, you're a dad or not.
He was a huge Mets fan.
Yep. Well, I'm talking about you particularly. Are you a dad or no? No. All right. Okay. So we just all right. Likewise to me. We're just covering my base here. So I'm going to start, of course, Kat, Tylor, then myself. That's how the rotation's going to be. If there's any special baseball memories that you have with your dad, just share them. Whenever you're ready, just share them and we'll gladly listen.
Well, I'll start, ladies first and all that.
Obviously.
When I was growing up, and this was every baseball season, every game, my dad would turn on WTTR radio, which is like a classic oldies station up here. And the Orioles game was on. If the Orioles had a game, WTTR covered it. And he would always, if it was a super hot day, he would have the bathroom window open so he could take a shower before going to bed. And there was always the night felt different when baseball was on the television or on the radio. And, Dad always tried to make baseball special. He took me to a couple of baseball games, Camden Yards. And, my brother has special needs, so he couldn't really participate as much, but he still tried to keep him involved. And when we'd be watching baseball on the TV and we're all getting excited, and my brother would get excited and my dad would be like, "There you go, you're watching baseball with us." And baseball has always been something really special for us. And now, being a single mom with 4 kids,
especially those in Little League now too.
Yes, I get to see my kids play and know that my dad is watching, and
spread the as
We
I was
lost
about to
him in
say,
2020.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but he's watching. Like,
yeah,
there's no way he doesn't see his granddaughter beating up on the boys.
right. Like I said, basically you're spreading the joy that your father would give to you, kind of vicariously through your children, which
Oh,
is all.
absolutely.
Yep. And of course, that would also translate to the love of the Baltimore Orioles. You.
Naturally.
Yes.
I
So
do also have newspaper articles from when Cal Ripken beat the streak. They're hanging up in my hallway.
nice. Nice. All right, Tyler, this
This
is
is going
your
to be
turn.
particularly hard. This will be particularly hard because my father recently passed away.
Once again, I'm sorry, Tyler, that I have to, put this on you, but
There's so many memories.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many. Because my father, the funny part is I will say one time, my father and he was a Mets fan, I'm a Yankees fan. He would always give me shit. I would always give him shit for being a Mets fan.
As it should be.
Yep. We would
Because
go
the
back
little
and forth.
Mets reign supreme once again, delivering the laughs.
Specifically, actually, I think some of the best moments were when Auburn Double Days were still the single A team for the Washington Nationals. And
Right.
he would take me to either them, Syracuse Chiefs, or now the Syracuse Mets, but back then they were called the Syracuse Chiefs.
Yeah.
Or the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Back then was the Binghamton Mets.
Yeah.
He would
I
always
remember
take
that.
me to. Well, he would dad to take me some of those during the summer, and him and I didn't really have that much of a relationship, except for it was through baseball. Him and I would always connect through baseball or music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Specifically, the fact that him and I he caught a foul ball at Syracuse and gave it to me, and had took me down and this was actually like 3 years ago in 2019 when they first were the Syracuse Mets.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
When Pete Alonso was playing for him, he had Pete Alonso. I have a ball signed by Pete Alonso.
Nice. Is that it,
That
Tyler?
was one of the best moments of my life, and it was so awesome.
All right. Okay.
About you?
Oh, now my turn? All right.
Mhm.
Well, I've got so many memories of my dad when it comes to baseball. I think I'm going to run out of fingers of all the baseball memories of my dad. But here it
I feel
goes.
that.
I hate to say it, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound. My dad's still alive. But and so I've got plenty of baseball memories to come, and I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound.
I
But
understand. I get it.
we'll start with obviously the whole incident where he wrote an angry letter, where I heard stories about how he wrote an angry letter to the then MLB commissioner at the time, Giamatti, to try to reinstate Pete Rose to have him go to Cooperstown. Unfortunately, when he sent off that letter, the commissioner died. So
My God.
that's a funny memory. Also remember my dad being a Little League umpire and then getting into a literal fight with the Little League Commission in Harrington because of certain reasons. I can't remember which, but probably because they didn't like how he called certain balls and strikes. Didn't like how he called them. But he basically gave them the middle finger on the way out. Or I could, yeah, pretty much.
Man.
And my dad is a defiant rebel. That's how he's always been.
Oh my!
Yeah. And interestingly enough, beer is not involved. There is no booze involved with my dad. That is how he is. But he is
Passionate.
Yep, yeah, exactly. He is a no nonsense. I don't take any shit from anybody. Don't give a damn who it is. Then, of course, when he got the news that he was driving around the Wilmington Blue Rocks baseball team, where I got to meet an MLB a future MLB All-Star for the first time in my entire life, which would be Salvador Perez. I got to meet. My dad tried to get me a job with the Wilmington Blue Rocks as their clubby.
Man, that would have been so cool.
And unfortunately, I never got the job because the Kansas City Royals intervened and sent theirs. So that sucked. Yeah. Then my dad throwing out the first pitch to celebrate his 5th year in the Wilmington Blue Rocks.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Then watching my dad drink beer with Brian Rupp, who beat Derek Jeter for Rookie of the Year in the minor leagues. So that was a thing. Also got to meet one of the guys who was in the first ever video, the first video for the legendary cup known as the Nutty Buddy, Masahiro Tanaka.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. So the Nutty Buddy Cup. I met the clip guy, and he was cool. I met John.
I may be young, but I remember that.
Yep. I met John Sadak, who is the current voice of the Reds. When Dad, unfortunately got fired by the not fired, he quit. He quit Delaware Express, which was the company that I was driving to Wilmington Blue Rocks. He quit because they were going to suspend him for like a month, and he's like, screw that. So he's now a truck driver. But after that, he got tickets to go to Camden Yards, and we saw the Royals versus the Orioles, where the Royals would lose because of a blown save by Joaquim's sorry ass piece of shit.
I
still have more. But probably my favorite memory of my dad with baseball is when I was asleep because I had to go to work the next day, but he was watching Game 5 of the World Series with the Kansas City Royals and the Mets. He thought that they were going to have to go back to Kauffman Stadium to play Game 6, and all of a sudden the Royals started to rally, and you just heard this enormous swell. You heard this enormous swell of emotion, and my dad just screaming, "We're going to win!" It was the.
It was Matt Harvey out of that game. They were. When they took Matt Harvey out of that game, the Mets were fucked.
Yep, and that was probably my dad's, as I will say, my dad's finest hour, because he knew half that team. He drove half that team. He worked out with half that team.
My father.
Those were his boys. That was half the team. That is his finest moment in baseball. And my proudest moment of my dad with baseball.
That's awesome. The funny part is, my father, cool. I was at school because I couldn't go to the games because I was still in school. My father and my stepmother were down at Citi Field that night, being a Mets fan.
Successful netting.
I mean,
sorry, had to twist the knife on that one.
It's all good.
Yes.
All fun. At the end of the day, it's all fun and game.
Exactly. So, now, after my little burst of emotion, now we have to get to something a little bit more serious. We are now going to the standings, which will be brought to you by Sleece.com. Use our affiliate down in the bio, wherever you get your podcasts down below. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the AL East. All right, Tyler.
All right. Now to lead off, actually, I'll do the first two. Actually, unless Kat wants to do the second one. Yankees right now are leading the AL East. They're right now. Let me actually check to make sure it's still correct.
Yo!
The Yankees,
Hey!
yeah.
What? It's starting to rain and your windows are down. I'll get down there in a minute.
Anyway, we'll cut that out. And back to what I was saying, the Yankees right now are the best in the AL. Not only the AL, but they're the best in base right now at 49-22 with a 690 win percentage. And then back in their last 10, they are 7-3 right now. Like I said earlier, they're beating up on the Red Sox. But actually, they got their asses whooped by Dodgers and are on a win streak right now.
I won't lie. I laughed really hard when I saw that score the other day.
All three scores. The Yankees got their asses walloped.
I was trying to be nice, but yes.
No, they got their.
Enjoyed that.
I've never seen the best team get absolutely beat the piss out of like that. Anyway, go ahead, Kat, for the second one.
The Orioles, thankfully, we've had a bit of a resurgence. The Orioles are 45-23, and their percentage isn't, terrible. We're at 662. We're only 2.5 games back. And just like the Yankees, we're 7-3 for the last 10. We did lose yesterday.
Check.
Yep.
Guys still hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we just did top 2 right here.
But just a heads up, there is a storm in my area, so just a heads up.
We lose connection. We'll got you.
So we had. I hate to interrupt, guys, but I might have to hop off here. My 7-year-old is screaming.
No problem. We'll let you handle it. All right.
We got you covered, Catty.
Yeah, we got you, Cat. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye.
Okay.
Now back to third place in the AL East.
The Boston Red Sox.
Go ahead.
We got the Boston Red Sox with a 507 win percentage, 35-34, 13 games behind. Kind of middling. You could also say that about the other teams. The Blue Jays and the Rays are also 5-5 last 10.
But let's talk about but right now the Blue Jays actually. Did we actually catch that Kevon Biggio got traded to LA? Speaking of Blue Jays.
Yeah, that was definitely a good move. Probably a change of scenery will help him. Biggio is Biggio is a second generation ball player, so that's fun.
What a Hall of Fame Craig Biggio. If you guys for all the newer fans.
Correct. And Craig Biggio was good. Speaking of the Blue Jays, 33-35, 14.5 games back. And the Tampa Bay Rays are 33-36, 15 games back.
Now with the AL East, I mean, between first and second, it's between the Orioles and the Yankees. But for third place, which I think will be for either first or second AL a wild card spot, it's actually pretty competitive. It's actually one of the most competitive from third down. Actually.
Correct.
All right, go ahead. The lead off.
All right. Central. So now for the Central, once again, no surprise, the Cleveland Guardians are pretty much running away with this division.
Oh yeah, they're running away with this division.
But the Royals may have slid a little bit, but they're no slouch. They've only 5-5 in the last 10. They're still 40-30. They still have a chance to make wild card. The Twins also have a solid win percentage, but they're starting to slip. 4 in their last 10, 7.5 games back.
I'll do the last 2.
Yep.
Tigers are 33-35. I mean, they're gonna be a better team coming up in the future. They're not really looking to win right now, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. They're actually on a little bit of a resurgence. They're 5-5 in their last 10. mean, they're like 2 games below 500, which is not terrible. And then point and laugh. You got Chicago, or should I say the Chicago Black Sox?
Well, hold on, Tyler. There's a little bit of cause of celebration because the Chicago White Sox actually won 3 games. Yay! 3 games. Yay!
Did they actually? Who let them smoke marijuana?
Smoke weed every day.
Anyway, they're 18-52. They're not going. They're not going anywhere fast.
No,
they're 27 games. They are 6-29 when they're not playing.
Let's just say their playoff hopes are in a trunk off of.
Robert De Niro. I think Robert De Niro killed them.
Maybe. All right, so now let's go to the West. As the Seattle Mariners currently lead the division, Tyler, let me speak.
Okay, sorry.
I will cover the last 3. You cover the bottom feeders this time. All right?
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so the Mariners, 6 of the last 10, 40-31, currently lead the division. The World Series champion Texas Rangers are in second place. They're below 500 with 33-35, 5.5 games back, 5 of the last 10. And Houston Trastros, who recently have waived Jose Abreu.
I saw that.
Yep, 31-38, 8 games back. Maybe they should sign Trevor Bauer. Just saying. He's out there.
Fuck you, Rob Manfred.
Yep, fuck you, Manfred. All right, Tyler. Now you.
I honestly, on these 2 teams, I mean, I feel bad for Angels. Angels fans, I'm sorry, but I don't feel bad until your owner sells the goddamn team.
Hey, watch the GDs, please.
Sorry. I don't feel bad for the Angels until they sell the team. Yeah, he's a piece of shit owner.
He is.
He's about as bad as Dan Snyder in the NFL.
Well, Dan Snyder's now gone, so that would be David Tepper now.
David Tepper, yeah. But they are. Well, God, sorry.
I was about to say, but he's not as bad as the owner of the Oakland Athletics because, at least he's wanting to keep the team in, close to where they are. Even though they should really be Anaheim, not Los Angeles.
They're not playing terrible in their last 10 games. I mean, they're 26-42, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. I mean, they're solid, but it's not going anywhere.
Yep, and the Athletics.
I feel terrible for the Athletics fans. I really do.
Yep.
The owner is a piece of work.
And unfortunately, the Athletics are doing their best White Sox impersonation right now.
They lost the last 6 games, unfortunately.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
For real, though, coming from 2 American League fans, we actually feel bad for you, Oakland fans. We really do.
Well, realistically, 3, but Cat left.
Yep. But they're 2-8 in their last 10.
Yes. All right. So now to the National League East. Tyler, you covered the
top 2. So we got Philadelphia,
3.
which is
I covered the 3. I covered the last 3. You covered the next.
Not a problem. So we got the Philadelphia Phillies, 46-22, 676 winning percentage. They lost the last 2 games, but they're still 6-4 in their last 10. Phillies are second best in the national in the MLB right now, behind the Yankees. They fell back a little bit because of that little losing streak. Mm-hmm. And you got Atlanta, which is broken. Half their players are gone. Acuna is done for the season. But I believe Darnell is out for 6 months.
But they're currently winning right now, 7-1.
That just tells you how much depth the Atlanta has. And the fact that, I mean, they're not great in their last 10, but they've also played some of the best. Yep. They've played all really good teams in the last week and a half.
Right.
And then you got the Nationals, which are about 4 games under 500, but the Nationals are expected to be about a third or fourth place team.
Yeah, they're
right
gaining
now,
ground. They're gaining ground.
They are. They're 5-5 in their last 10. I mean, they lost one game, but they're actually not terrible for being that young of a team.
And they're currently winning right now, handedly.
Yep.
Definitely against a division rival. Which, speaking of division rival, Lowell Mets reigning supreme once again with a 30-37 record. Daddy Steve needs to invest more money into more failure. 15 and a half games back. Although they're 6 of the last 10, but it's the Mets.
It's the Mets.
Yep, it's the Mets. And then, of course, the bottom feeder, literally this time, the Miami Marlins, 23-45, 23 games back, two of the last 10. Now probably going to be one out of the last 10 because they're losing badly to the Nationals. And again, and I said this often, this was a playoff team last year. Nothing realistically has changed with the organization. What happened?
Actually, well, to be fair, Derek Jeter left as the owner. That's really the only thing that changed.
Yeah, but that shouldn't change. That shouldn't change anything realistically. All right, now let's get to the Central. We all know that hockey's getting ready to end, but apparently the memo did not catch on to the Milwaukee Brewers, top of the division, 40-28. Not a bad win percentage. 5-5 in the last 10. Then nipping at their heels, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Cardinals are actually playing pretty good, actually.
Yep, 500. And you might want to, and Tyler, you might want to take back what you said about the Cincinnati Reds. Because the Cincinnati Reds are surging in the last 10. In the last 10, 33-35, 7 games behind. Gotta take back the words, man. Apologize to John Sadek.
Sorry, John. I actually was not expecting. I mean, I was actually picking you guys to finish last.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got the fourth and last two teams in the Central. Cubs, come on, Cubs. You're better than your sister team. Come on. They're 33-37, 471 winning percentage. Their last two they've lost are 4-6. Their hot starting pitcher has cooled off a little bit. And the Pirates, they're taking...
You're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers! They're going to gain ground on the Bears! Those damn pygmy... guinea pigs!
Go get your beer, get your Camaro, and the football season's almost there.
No! Still got Super Bowl!
Yinzer, go get your beer.
Don't worry, guys. We managed to grab the Yinzer, handcuff him. He is now back behind Pittsburgh's finest cop vehicle. Unfortunately, that cop vehicle also smells like Iron City.
Iron City. But yeah, 32-36 in their last 10. 32-36. They're actually the same winning percentage as the Cubs, but at least they're better than the White Sox. Yep. They're 5-5 in their last 10, so they're not playing terrible.
Yep.
All right.
And now we're on the West. Tyler, keep going.
We got no surprise here. LA Dodgers. Is anybody surprised at this point?
Considering they have famous responsible gambler Shohei Ohtani, and I'm still going to keep using that joke because, let's face it, we know he gambled on games and baseball. All right.
They're 42-28, lost the last 2 games, but their actually greatest achievement so far this season is gave the new top team New York Yankees the ass whooping of the season last weekend.
No. To be fair, that's not their greatest accomplishment. Their greatest, that's not their greatest accomplishment this season. Their greatest accomplishment is basically bribing the Braves commissioner Rob Manfred a lot of money so they could keep Shohei Ohtani on the roster.
That is true.
That is his great accomplishment. Fight me, Manfred.
Then you go drive about an hour south to San Diego, 37 and 35, just a little over 500 win percentage. They're on a 3-game win streak, 5-5 in their last 10. I mean, the Padres have been actually getting better.
I know. Let me say this openly. On behalf of the city of San Diego, and I know the Chargers aren't playing, but for a low-tier meme, here we go. Fuck you, Spanos.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yep.
Anyway, and then you got drive a couple hours north to San Francisco, across the bay from the excuse for the Oakland Athletics. 34 and 35 Giants.
Mm-hmm.
493 win percentage, 7.5 games back. They're on a win streak too. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. So I think the top two are set. It's going to be between, I'd say between the Giants and Diamondbacks for the second wild card spot.
I disagree with that. But let me interrupt you for a minute. You can kind of blame the San Francisco Giants for the Oakland Athletics leaving Oakland.
I do agree to a extent.
Yeah, but it's primarily ownership. The fact that Oakland wanted the Raiders and were trying to keep them in Oakland. You know, that whole thing. And now let's continue with the Diamondbacks. 33-36, 8.5 games back. I told everyone, this is where they were going to be, right near the bottom. Even though they were in the World Series last year, but it was a fluke. Excuse me. And finally, to round out the West, it is the Colorado Rockies. They are getting dangerously close to being the worst team in the MLB. And
are there even any Colorado fans left?
They're probably just scared. If they are, they're probably just going to Coors Field to watch dingers and not the mascot.
And dingers and smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to make that joke because of Colorado. Anyway, what do we got next?
Before we get into our games of the weekend, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Mark. And now we're going to get into our games of the weekend. Since Kat left, we're going to basically take her place. We're going to pick 3 games that we're going to be looking forward to this weekend.
All right.
So Tyler,
okay,
pick 3. Pick 3.
All right. I'm going to pick a good one. I am going to go to the Brewers and the Reds.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I'm going to go Royals Dodgers for my second one, and Rangers and Mariners.
Nice. All right. And I am going to pick my 3. Since Kat's not here, I got the Phillies and Orioles. I got the Nationals and Marlins. And I am going to definitely round it out with the battle of the bottom feeders, the Pirates and the Rockies. You know I was coming. Who let you out? They got me on parole once. They got me on bail once again. Still aren't got. Yinzer, I swear.
How many times?
How many times? We can't escape him.
We love him,
but we love the Yinzer. So that is it for the Dirt and Turf podcast. Special shout out to our affiliates. Fanatics. Fanatics.
Link in the bio.
Link is in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. Like I said, Fanatics, Bulletproof Coffee, W Energy, Fubo TV, Century PC, Dr. Squatch, Duke Cannon. And am I missing one? All right, Sleeves. Sleeve time.
Oh, before we go, actually, Duke Cannons. If your dad wants to smell awesome for Father's Day weekend, make sure you get your father some nice bricks of Duke's Cannons or some Dr. Squatch to make him smell nice after a long hard work week.
Yep. Or if you really want to give your dad a little boost, of course, Fanatics, help him root for his favorite team, or you get some Bulletproof Coffee. They got some great coffees, and not only coffee, but they also have vitamins. To get your greens, get your collagen, all the good stuff. Or hey, you can watch a game on Fubo TV. Once again, those links are in the bio wherever you get your podcasts. And that is it for our
gum. I was gonna end. I got that.
That's not yet. Let me give the citations, Tyler.
Go ahead.
So, on behalf of Kat and Tyler, grab your seeds, grab your gum, because it's time to play ball.
Play ball!
And Mark. All right, so that is it.
That was, well, make sure you get rid of